Good morning, everyone. Well, looks like we're going to be stuck in this mess for a little while. The other numbers were out. Markets are up a little bit, as you can see. And we got a well-defined trading range, and prices are smack in the middle of the mess. You can see the cursor on the daily chart, give or take. You know. So what's the likelihood of getting out of the range today? I would say 0. You know, 0. It's not going to go to the top of the range. It's unlikely to go to the bottom of the range on the cues there. Um, Anything else happening news-wise today? I would keep in mind. I don't know if any of these guys, there's Fed guy talking at 12 o'clock, but that'll be lunchtime. There's a Fed guy going to be, he's already talked. Williams probably didn't say anything. Bostic's talking at 1:30. There's a 30-year bond auction at 12 o'clock. That could move the market, so keep that in mind. Just being aware as a day trader, might be press the button and all of a sudden things go flying in short term one direction or the other. Anyway, nasty wide range bar trading in the lower half of it, still with the gap up for now, trading in the lower half of it. And again, trading range, whether it eventually goes sideways here for a while. I mean, earnings reports will be coming out, of course, but we'll see if we're in for this or whatever it's going to do. And the main focus will be if it breaks below this level or whether it goes back up to the top. That's the bottom line. A little bit different, but essentially trading range, 2 pivot highs, major support down there, rising 50 MA. Markets moved up probably on a breath of relief that the numbers weren't totally aligned with yesterday's numbers. And still under the 20 MA, inside yesterday's range, and going nowhere for now. Could this come down here today? Well, I don't think so. That's just a thought, of course. But the move up here now, and probably going to be some running in place. SPX, good. I think good numbers here. Inside days so far. Bottom number. Let me just double check. Things haven't moved much, so you always got to look by the open. By whatever I'm putting here is about the same, and then which way things go at the open. So yeah, so 80. Move around. Got to move that up to 90, just based on what's happening right now. And that and the top probably must have went up then. Let's just see. Yeah, that went up 5. So that top number, you could probably even do 25 because that top number I think is a no-brainer. Up near the top of the wide range bar, up above that bottoming tail bar, up above the 20 MA. And this is not bad, below the 50 MA and at these pivots. So good lines of defense, distance to get there. I mentioned, I don't know if it was earlier in the week or last week, things were pretty darn tight. Now they're widening up again as the volatility picks up. That's a good thing. Right? Unfilled gap down here, major support, 50 MA. Likelihood of getting here today, unlikely. Weekly, we still got today and tomorrow, but this breakout bar failure I spoke about 3 weeks ago, it has triggered, has not taken out the bottom of the wide range bar, which is that major support area. Anyway, there's lots of good support down here. We'll see what happens next week after these earnings reports start coming out. But below that, unfilled gap and void, that's where it gets ugly if it's going to get ugly. You'll be down below 5,100 and probably on the way to 5,000. But we'll see how that plays out. It's too early to tell. For now, bonds have stabilized. I don't know why this TNX, I don't think this is updating, but I don't think that's updating. I don't know why, but you can see that the bonds themselves, kind of stabilized for now. Looks to me like they got to go. This got to go lower, which means interest rates have to go higher, and won't be good for the markets. I don't know if anybody caught Jamie Dimon being. I don't know if I was live when he was on Fox there. I had it on a few minutes ago, but I mean, he's one of the only guys out there that seems to have his head on straight and telling the truth about what's going on in inflation and what he sees. Maybe I believe him because more what I think, but anyway, it makes sense, as to what he's saying. It seems like common sense. He's talking about facts. So many things that are inflationary. Euro, that had that collapse yesterday. Things are stabilizing here. I guess, market will wait for the next news thing that captivates this market for now. Friday is consumer sentiment, export prices, Michigan inflation. It's nauseating, but it is what it is. So you can see the support, a little bounce there. Maybe it gets into the middle of the wide range bar. So again, this is what we call the power of the void, sometimes in a more negative way. When things roll over, you want to see it go down into the void. Dan and I covered the void concept extensively in MT Live yesterday. The other way is when you get a wide range bar like this, negative bars, and they create voids up above. Well, that gets kind of tricky because, this bigger picture says lower, and you get big, nasty down bars like this, which create voids, which you can see here. And so we just kind of, it's not arbitrary, but it's subjective, is to say, okay, it should stay in the lower half of the wide range bar. Well, there's nothing to stop it from going all the way up. But if it's truly weak, it's going to create some resistance, like on a lower time frame. This would be a pivot, or these would be pivots on lower time frames. It just doesn't have 3 to the left here, so the software doesn't mark it as a pivot. But if you scroll over, squeeze that up, you can see what's going on over here, which is those bars, and then of course further off. Anyway, it just opens up the door for counter trend moves, which if you're day trading, that's all good. You can trade counter trend moves with a void up above, but keep the big picture, in mind, is that it's unlikely to get up to the top, but sometimes it does. Like this green bar, look how far that went up into there before it rolled over again on news. Can I review the SPY chart? Yeah. So it's kind of messy where I've marked up all this stuff, but the chart has all of this stuff to mark up. So I mark these up for educational purposes, but for those of you that are starting out, I strongly suggest you do the same. This is what I did, 30 years ago, printing out charts. I don't think software I could type on them like that, but you print out your chart, a daily chart or a 5-minute chart, and you start marking up, oh, that's a pivot, that's major support, that's an unfilled gap, that's a wide range bar, and that's part of your training your practice of recognizing the concepts that we talk about here every day. And that's, just like an athlete that practices whatever, day in and day out. You do that repetition to make it second nature. So here's the SPY chart. Wide range gap up, wide range bar down. Pretty much the closes, not that bar, but the closes are staying in the lower half. Prices are below the 20 MA. There's a pivot low here now. Prices are moving up. Where are they moving up to? They're moving up to the top of yesterday's high. Is that changing the daily chart? No, it's not. It's in the middle of the trading range. Major support is down here, rising 50 MA. Down below here, the proverbial, what hits the fan. There's nothing to stop it from going down. That's why it's marked void risk. Then there's major support. Next level down here. And I mentioned this before. The good thing about this market, you'll know it's extended and all the other things. There's lots of support levels down below. So unless some more news comes like what we saw this week, that should hold these levels. The weekly chart is up. Now, so I'm, down here, I don't think it's going to get down here, and it shouldn't get down here. But see the bottom of these overlapping bars right here? And I see my cursor on the daily chart, that major support. That should more or less, I think, be the downside of any correction if it's really going to unfold to being lower. So trading range, we're in a trading range. Credit spreads, that was the opening slide. Trading range, credit spreads are usually the way to go. Enjoying the directional trades that we've had, will become less. Credit spreads will become more abundant and high probability trading vehicles. And those stocks, companies coming out with good or bad earnings will provide opportunities as well, maybe directionally. So, then we start going to individual sectors to see what is happening there. Of course, transports likely to go down the bottom of the range. There's the 200 MA. The Dow, as getting a little worse, down through major support. And we bounce up a little bit. Next level's over here. And quickly look at the futures. Talk about this head and shoulders, maybe playing out. Where is this? Still in the bottom of the wide range bar. Maybe it can go up a little more. You can see the void up above. This is where you may want to get out, as a futures trader, your trader pivot lines when there's nothing there. You look for something more subjective that might stop prices from going up, but you don't have to. We had this discussion in the green room yesterday where, Alex suggested trader pivot lines. Look what's happening here today. Okay, something I looked at every single day years ago, and now I don't. And so that's just a choice. But what I do know what is going to happen if prices are going up here on the 5-minute or the, which is like primary what I'm looking at. But later in the day, I'll look at the 15. And earlier in the morning, I'm looking at the 2. It's going to form a pivot. Where's it going to form a pivot? Over here. If it was to come up into this area, well, getting beyond what's to the left may come into play. Right, this area here, here or here may come into play, but it's got to form a pivot as things begin to stall on the way up on a smaller time frame. And once it does that, I've got a reference point where can I get through that again? All right, Dow futures. I'm going kind of quick because bring Dan on. Breakdown on the lower half of the bar, pivot low. Let's drag this down here. Next pivot, drag that down there. And we can extend that to the right. And so you see, stop down there yesterday and this morning. It's always looking to the left. And you can take this line and put it there and so on. Down below the 50, 20 is now pointing down. Right? The 200 is down here. This blue line is equal to the 100 on the daily time frame. This is the 20. You can see the cursor. It's down here at this pivot. So if you're looking at moving averages, you always look to the left of the moving averages. It lined up with anything. There you go. All right. Bitcoin sure looks like it's going to eventually break out, but another trading range. Right? It's holding up. In the moment, red bar ignored, going nowhere. Gold, right? Inside bar, it's going to go higher. Right. I know it's extended, but I think it's going higher. Silver, up. I got it marked for a trading range there. It's extended. Oil, it's going to go higher. Going sideways, that's bullish price action, getting extended from the 20, until proven otherwise. It's going higher. Bonds look like they're going lower, interest rates higher. That's not good for the markets. And look, financials rolled over. They're up here a little bit today. We got some earnings reports coming out tomorrow. Citigroup, maybe something saves the day. JP Morgan. So, but look at JP Morgan. This is interesting. It's somewhat similar to XLF. You can see the head and shoulders top, right? Here's the neckline. Where is it here? Look, the earnings should be good. It's at a whole number, 200. This is something that will be of interest tomorrow to see if it breaks below or whether it reverses this distribution pattern to go higher. So again, tomorrow, while there'll be some economic stuff, which is primarily at 10 o'clock tomorrow, that sentiment number and inflation expectations. But this will be of interest. All right. Let's get wrapped up here in a second, Dan. Regionals broke down. They're up here a little bit. This wasn't these interest rates going up were a really bad thing for these regional banks and commercial real estate. So that's going to come into the news again and be a worry. Retailers broke down, which was looking fantastic over here and over here, which we talked about. So the theme is trading ranges. Some things are going to, move lower, some a little higher. Overall, probably we'll see what the earnings reports do and whatever news coming, and we'll deal with it. All yours, Dan.
Well, so I'm still wanting a breakdown. Yeah, Greg talked about what's range bound here, but we still have good couple of longs here. Posted a couple of them here. I'll review in a second. Now Costco here, since I have it up, reported some same store sales. A nice little relative strength reversal yesterday. So that's put spread idea. See how it holds at the open, but 7:15 I think should be okay for tomorrow expiration. Paddle on YouTube asking about EQT. It's at the top of the range. So I have no interest in that paddle. The fact that 100% retracement is bullish. So pattern like this needs to go sideways for like another week for me to be interested. And then you could buy the breakout after that. All right, even though with the market up, I don't have, and we have a lot of shorts open. I don't have a single alarm going off on the shorts. So that is an excellent relative weakness of our open positions. We've just been in trail mode. NTNX alarm went off. Aisha gave this to me yesterday. Beautiful little bull flag, 180. So we're going to start with a put spread. I already sent an order out and then see how it develops for a directional. Nice 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, extended monthly. I get it, but I'm not trading the monthly. I'm trading the daily, weekly. GDRX, this was an Alex trade. I said, let's buy a half lot, the earlier of 30-minute high or Tuesday's high. Bottoming pattern at the 50. So what else did I post? DNN came from somebody in the room yesterday. It's a buy setup with a potent engulfing turn on support in the 20. So that's a textbook buy setup. So that's a go over yesterday's high. So those are three that I posted. Longs, post POSD was posted yesterday as a short under yesterday's low. It's still good to go. Breakdown daily and top weekly. Let's see the earnings trades. STZ 270 bullish gap put spread. If anything, if there's any juice. Love, no love for love today. Wow. So that's an excessive gap. KMX earnings, big old gap down here, 72 and change. So this is a bearish as can be gap, but I throw it into excessive gap category just to see if buyers want to step up here on support. So I have it in the middle chart, and this will be a 1 DTE put spread candidate. Off, has no volume. Fast, 70 bucks, another bearish gap, but we'll see what it does. Cost, we talked about rent. A big old gap here on earnings to $10, nothing to do with it. Meta was on my long list yesterday as a buy setup. Relative strength, is it all-time highs? I keep forgetting. Yeah, all-time highs, Meta. So that's relative strength again here, trading over yesterday's high. Let's watch that on a pullback with hopefully with the market doing the same. We talked about that. ALB is a put spread candidate for next week. You know, just slopping around. I wouldn't touch this thing directionally. 30-minute high. We'll check the premium because the premiums are good now. AZN gap breakout on a pullback put spread candidate. Momo, I had an up alarm here go off. It's a sloppy bottoming pattern, but so no rush to get in. So that's all I got for the morning. Let's see what I have left over here from yesterday now. These are a couple on Sam's list. Short idea. So yeah, I like new short ideas. Setting alarms because they should only go off if the market's weak. So I'm going to set an alarm 74.75. I mean, they only go off if the stock is weak because we're getting a big gap up. The Dow 30 yesterday, it was solid red, remember? Today it's solid green. With market travelers down less than $1. RPM, you know, set an alarm saying, oh, Charlie Bravo. What's up with, is that print real? That was a beautiful 1, 2, 3. Let me put that in a window. See if that gap is real at the open. Charlie Bravo. If it opens flat, you can short the lows as a 1, 2, 3. Goggle, little oil stock. Ah, yeah, there's okay. So yeah, it could be a 30-minute high watch. Yeah, breakout. That's the oil shipper, right? Everybody go off. Pan W, little bottoming pattern, put spread idea. There's we covered all these. Nitra is also a bullish consolidation in an uptrend. Let's set an alarm 97.30. This Alex found yesterday, Sharuf, inverse head and shoulder, uranium ETF. Verizon, I'm watching deep retracement, but it's a buy setup of the bottoming tail. I have an alarm at 40.60, I think, which 5 cents away. So it might go off right at the open. We'll see. This was on my list yesterday or 2 days ago to see if it would give a 1, 2, 3. This is technically not a 1, 2, 3 because we want the inside bar to be in the upper third. But, gotta take it with a grain of salt because of what, the market still held up better than the market, right? Team is a put spread idea, another bottoming pattern. We actually had a put spread and we took our money yesterday in the strength. 2-4. Wow, that's a big gap on team. Let's watch that on the pullback. ANF. I guess, this has been on my short watch with Sam. I just don't have an entry on the daily. But look at weekly, monthly. That is a textbook M top on the weekly, Climo on the monthly with bearish reversal, and a price void. So the factory work on this says short of bounce on a smaller time frame, McFly. And that's, what I'm trying to do here. Stop bouncing. Yeah, I'll tell you. Tell him, Alex. But Alex, what makes you think he can do 10? JBT, Greg mentioned yesterday. It's far from the 20. I don't know. Next is a bullish one. I forget who in the green room mentioned it. This is relative strength. Gill is a mess, I think. Gill was a this is a bull. It's a bull flag on the daily and a buy setup weekly, but it has to recover and rebuild a little bit. All right, next alarm just went off. That's just the one I was talking about. NEXT. So that's relative strength. Closing breakout. DNN alarm. So that's a go. DNN's a go. HSIC, we are short. This one trades weird. This one I might want to get out break even. We're in this at 72.19. Let's see if we can get out break even. It's nowhere near our stop, but just trimming a little bit things that I don't like. HSIC. DRX. Okay, my alarm, my early alarm went off, so that means nothing. Set a new alarm at 7:06. Nothing to do now. NTNX as a put spread. The midpoint now. The midpoint is 5 cents and it closed at 50. It's because it's because of the stupid spread and the out of the money one. So I sent an offer at 50 cents. I'm just gonna leave it. Nectar. Yeah, as a buy setup. Look at the monthly. See, Alex, you never have to tell me about my time frames. My eye goes right to what is most interesting, and that's coming out of a coma. But the better entry was down here, of course. All right, goggle, Costco. Let me see what the juice bar looks like. Costco. 7.15s for tomorrow. 73 by $1, so not bad. $5 wide is 47 cents. So we'll keep an eye on it. Not bad. And WFI triggered short. Yeah, looks like it's going to the 50. All right, let's look at our open shorts now. Akamai still looks great. I think I moved stuff break even. All right, HSIC just hit its break even, so closing that out break even. Let's see, Akamai. Yeah, Akamai, we're at break even, 105.89. I'm going to set an alarm though at 105.50. It should not go that far. This KMX, no, that still looks nasty. I would love it to, keep cratering down to 70. Hey, look at YMM. This is quite the relative strength. It hit its first 1/3 target. Moves up under this little guy now, 779. Oh, first half target. ALB alarm, that was a put spread idea. All right, nothing to do yet, but let me check the 120s. Yeah, there's juice. CPG. Yeah, that's consolidation over time and an uptrend, sure. So Greg, I heard you say pre-market, you saw zero chance of trading under yesterday's low today. I don't agree with that. I mean, number one, you'll never hear me give zeros or hundreds like Alex does. But why not? Why can't we slowly churn and then give it up? I just wouldn't say I wouldn't say zero. I as of right now, I'd actually say 15%. So I that's my answer. I think there's a 15% chance we go under yesterday's low. All right, let me back to opens here. All right, so we have a cyber call spread also 272.80. Let's see what that guy's up to. It's now 80 cents. Let's move stop here. 260.72. When is it? 80. All right, so we're actually at half. We're at 50%. You know what? Let's take it. I think it's going lower, but and now it just dropped to 70. And we're also short the stock, so we have two positions on.